Welcome to Hoffmann-Photography. My name is Rainer, and if you ever had the feeling that taking photos isn't as much fun as it used to be, then maybe, just maybe, I have some ideas for you. I don't know about you, but after taking photographs for many years, I had the feeling that my pictures all looked pretty much the same. Now, I could cheekily claim that this is just my style, but honestly, I'd be kidding myself. If you are in a similar situation, then I have some ideas for you that may help you to develop a new take on familiar subjects. This is fun. Here are the rules. Find yourself a confined space, your living room, your office, your garden, whatever, and set a timer for 60 minutes. Then start shooting until the 60 minutes are up. You must take at least 60 photos. More are okay, of course. Sounds easy? Well, here's a little catch. Of course, those 60 photos must show 60 different subjects. And that can be a bit of a challenge. I won't show you all of my 60 photos when I did this, but here are a few, just for your inspiration. You'll be shooting subjects you never thought would be interesting. And frankly, most won't be interesting, but some will stand out. Trust me. We are so used to zoom lenses these days that we easily forget that a different perspective requires a different angle of view. If you spend a whole day, or better even a whole week, using just one focal length, you are forced to move around to get a different view of your subject. And that's a very good thing. If you still have one of these good old 50mm lenses, then that's the one to use. Otherwise, use your favorite zoom lens, set it to whatever focal length you like, and go ahead. Just don't touch the zoom ring. Or, even better, fix it with some sticky tape. If your photography is more or less documentary style, like mine, then try to go abstract. Reduce your subject to lines, shapes and colors. So much so, perhaps, that the subject is no longer recognizable. That opens up a whole new world of images that perhaps don't even look like photos anymore. Have a look. Intentional camera movement is one of my favorite experiments in photography. During the exposure, you move the camera around, up, down, left, right. You can rotate the camera around the length axis. You can zoom during the exposure, or you can combine the long exposure time with flash. If you are very brave, you can even set the self timer to 2 seconds and then toss the camera into the air. At your own risk, of course. Intentional camera movement works best in low light conditions because you need exposure times of about 0.5 seconds or longer. Here are some of my favorite images. Where there is light, there are shadows, and shadows can make great subjects of their own. Here is some inspiration for you. Double exposures are a lot of fun because you make a composite image of two subjects that sometimes combine in quite unexpected ways. If your camera shows a preview of the double exposure before you take the second image, try to disable the preview function because the preview function takes most of the fun out of it, at least in my opinion. If your camera doesn't have a double exposure function, then of course you can always fake a double exposure in post-processing. But again, I think that's not as much fun as an in-camera double exposure. Here are some examples. Long-term projects are a great way to keep the fun of photography going. Find 2 or 3 visually interesting subjects that you work on over and over again, for years perhaps. Your subjects shouldn't be too exotic, otherwise you'll be done in 3 weeks and that's not long-term. One of my personal long-term projects is road markings. Have a look. Perhaps you'll try a few of these ideas for yourself. I'm pretty sure you'll have a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.